I'm telling my story because I want to put a lens on trans experience. It's really the power of storytelling that reaches people in a way that best practices and statistics never will. I felt that I had to use my personal story within a larger context of why these issues are important on a larger level, why we need to create trans and LGBTQ affirming systems, why we need to continue to fight for civil rights legislation, what the movement for trans equality is all about, and using my story as a way of understanding on an intimate level how this impacts people. A lot of people don't know somebody who's trans, and so I want to provide a window into what it's like to be trans. I had this experience of my Packy that was in my swim trunks falling to the floor. And so I grabbed it really quickly, looking around to be sure no one was, could see, and thought to myself, okay, that can never happen again. I certainly have people be very confused about my race. As a gender transgressive person, I had people be very confused about my gender. As someone who's lived with an invisible disability, a chronic illness, I've also had people be very confused about my disability status. And I'm also finding, as a female to male trans person, people have thought I was really young. The next minute I'm being offered a senior discount. So, there's a lot of ambiguity and complexity in my experience, and I write about that. At the end of my book, I have a toolkit where community health organizations, businesses, and educational institutions can assess their transgender cultural competency. So there are a series of questions they can ask. This book is for people who are working in community health, in educational institutions, in businesses, people who are curious about trans folks, people who are family members, someone who wants to know what it's like to have used both the women's locker room and the men's locker room.
Scars have written volumes that traverse my body. They speak in poetic whispers, creative tales, and journalistic essays. They have written their own memoir